in Snake's lane swaps, but also quite a good duelist and team fighter.
And there's the Trundle as well, so a little bit more flexibility just in case, but likely the support champion for Ella once again. Seems to like it. Interbrom did pick this exact same matchup in game 1. And of course that leaves us with, where do we put the rest of World Elite's draft here? And of course, what does Snake want to take for themselves? 30 seconds or so left now for WE to decide on these picks.
This would make sense out of 957. He's played Fiora Lissandra fairly often at the moment. And you have to say that as far as good lane matchups go, Fiora is not bad against Gangplank. You can get in, stop the barrels. If you unfortunately look like you're about to get hit by one, Riposte does a lot of work in the matchup. And you are a fairly good duelist yourself.
But is it Gangplank? I guess we'll find out soon, because Elise and Fiora are the picks there for World Elite.
So I think I made my bias fairly well known at Worlds. But a well-played Fiora, in my opinion, is honestly the best, nearly the best champion in the game. She's a fantastic team fighter, a fantastic split pusher. She creates so many options for you. With Ravenous Hydra, she also has Wave Clear, although Titanic Hydra right now is also a fantastic build. So I honestly really like Fiora. The problem with Fiora versus Gangplank is she's confined to one area. So she's either team fighting, she's either split pushing. All of her abilities are in a very small radius. Gangplank will just wave clear against your split pusher, drop an ultimate, and do 6,000 damage in a team fight, and maybe win you the game. Which is why Gangplank is silly.
And banned a lot of the time, but not in this game. And you might get your wish. It might well be Flandre on the Gangplank, which, given his penchant as a carry player, probably seems correct. Tank is going to go back to the victor. Not the biggest fan of the pick, but had a fine game 1. So he's going to take it again for himself.
And now look at the zone control on the Snake lineup. They've got Pillar, they've got the Gravity Field, they've got barrels.
They've got Gangplank.
If anyone steps a foot out of line, they are going to get kegged in the head.
Robo Pirate combo is now available.
It certainly is. Gangplank's got a weird piratey robot arm as well.
Can you imagine if Gangplank was actually a robot? That would be so dope. Like, Project Gangplank. Come on, man. Mecha Plank. Work with me.
Mecha Plank?
Yeah.
I can see Mecha Plank. I'm just trying to think what part would make mechanical. Maybe his beard.
As we do see the team comps once again. Fiora, Elise, Corki, Ezreal, Braum, Gangplank, Rek'Sai, Victor, Triss, and Trundle.
I like the bottom lane, the mid support synergy out of Corki Braum. I never noticed this, but both have glorious mustaches. That's like a mustache.
There you go.
Duo.
There you go. It could have been mustache versus mechanical beard. We'll have to wait for a future skin perhaps.
I'm sure we'll get that battle soon.
Because really, what else do we want out of our LPL games? Well, we're about to get into this one. You can see the lineups on your screen one more time. Curious drafting again by both teams. I think World Elite, very safe, very straightforward draft for them. Snake, I think a little tighter. See how Tank goes on the Victor revisit here, but every time Gangplank gets through, it's kind of like Rise. You just always wonder what the plan is, because you better have one.
Yeah, you certainly should take something into the Rift. As WE keep your dreams, they're certainly living up to that. This is for second spot in their group. Big game for WE right now.
Certainly is. We'll see if they can break it or if it's going to be a push forward. We're going to get onto the Rift. And we are back for game number 2, as Crystal will take his relatively famous from last year's Tristana back onto the Rift for his second game of his 2016 season. Good to see him back on the starting lineup. Had a pretty good game there on a Callista, but Snake together couldn't quite crack through the World Elite team fighting there in the first one. See if they can change it up and push it to a third game. RFW will claim spot number 2. So sole possession, of rank 2 in the standings of their group. And come away with a 2-0 victory. And we do have Corki in this game. Talk about Gangplank being a very strong and powerful pick. Barely gets through, but Corki's certainly been creeping up the ranks in recent priority.
And Corki's weird, because he's always kind of had a lot of pressure. The change in the passive means that he's much better suited to the mid lane now, because he does do a lot of magic damage and doesn't pigeonhole yourself into this double AD comp that you can just stack armor against. But I honestly think that his damage, his early laning has always been this good in the early mid game. Like, Corki mid has been something that we've talked about a lot, and yeah, I just love the fact that it's now a huge priority pick in the LPL.
Yeah, and around the world, to be honest, as well. As we're not going to have a lane swap this time. But a bit of help there from 957. Actually, no, I lied. There is going to be one, because Fiora's in the bottom lane. But I expected Snake to maybe look for the swap. So if they wanted a 2v1, that is exactly what they're going to get. But I don't know if 957 is going to be very happy about this.
He does this every time. He gets the cheeky 3 melees, and then just like gets the heck out of dodge. Every single time 957 does that.
Well, bye 957. He's off now. Off to
But
Bindle,
the thing that he does do is he just gives away Condi's position on the map like every single time.
Yep. I was like, oh, there you are. I found you. I'll ward you.
Pillar, where is it? Oh, no, he took the bite to get the ward, I remember now. So they're not worried about him at all.
Get in there, Trundle. Oh, man, actually zoning him off the Raptor camp. Hey, there we go.
He took one.
Bit of jungling, counter jungling, in fact, from the support position. And looks like, hold this time. Oh, Crystal's going to shove that turret right in as fast as possible. And he's level 3 already, thanks to Ella's little roaming venture there.
Yeah, that was a weird one out of both teams, but it looks like they will hard shove this time around. Crystal already has the wave up against the turret. You can see that a little bit longer time is being taken on the top side of the map by the Ezreal, but Essence Plus, we have learned, is a very good pushing tool.
Especially when you've got a couple of people to help out there. Sure, you're not going to make it, but Elise, sorry, is going to make a way in there, and Flandre, you know, smash some barrels for the passive. And
this is my first problem with Gangplank's kit. Why does his passive work on turrets?
Well, I don't know, but it does, and that's going to prove
It's
very
literally
beneficial.
a flaming sword. How does a flaming sword?
You can like light buildings on fire.
That's a stone turret.
It might have some wood in it.
Gangplank.
It might have some wood in its structure. You never know. Is that more realistic if he was like a future robot pirate?
Yes, it
and
does.
had lasers.
Laser sword.
Okay,
there we go.
That would
we
make
just
more sense.
Fix the problem.
There you go. He has an actual laser sword. Well, Flandre are going to hang out here in the bottom lane, regardless of.
Oh, they gave him blue buff. That's cool.
Yeah, I did notice that actually. But able to hang out here in bottom, and was if he can build up the lead he was able to in game number 1, because with the Quinn, he could speed around and create pressure with a big CS lead and really make 957's life a little problematic. With that much farm on Gangplank, he can just hard carry a game.
Yeah, he will one-shot anyone on the map if he gets that much farm on Gangplank, as Shia actually takes a bad end of that trade.
Yeah, this is the thing. Victor, pretty good in trades, especially in medium to short range, which is kind of where Corki sits.
Power, just such a strong ability. Corki really does need those rockets to be able to start poking people out, as now Crystal and Ella in the top lane trying to zone out 957.
Yeah, just going to shoot him there, show him his boss.
Oh, they're letting that wave bounce back, actually.
That's nice, but going to have to push back eventually, because it is Tristana after all. Did take the charge already to take down the bottom turret, but pretty standard stuff so far. Almost 5 minutes in, turrets traded on either side.
Oh, 957 wants in on a gank in the mid lane. That 6 CC combo that comes out of a Fiora.
Zizio's actually been tagged as well. Mystic, he's going to move in, but that's going to force a flash out. Barrel hit for Flandre. He's going to line it up. Good damage. Slow might just be enough, but Q goes wide there for Mystic.
There's another person coming down.
Oh, it's dangerous stuff. Flandre is like,
Zero's
good luck, friends. Zizio tunneling again. They are going to dive in for it. Damage is down. Zizio going to stand and fight, but first blood goes to Mystic.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to get out of the turret aggro as well. So very nicely played there from WE. Made a joke about 957's roam, but he's exactly where he wants to be on the map right now. Does look like they'll be able to trade turrets one more time, but with the first blood and an assist going across to the WE lineup, they will take a nice little gold lead.
Significantly less invested here as far as manpower goes for Snake, but a kill netted for World Elite. First blood, in fact, is nice to have there. So Crystal is going to get the second tower. World Elite, though, are going to be able to finish this off. And once again, wonder where the carries are going to go. Top laners especially always get starved in a lot of these situations. Flandre was able to get farm last time. Condi visiting take there. Does land a cocoon. Just going to come in for the damage, and he almost did it himself.
Yeah, he was trying to get a summoner spell out, but Tank knew ZZR was there. so didn't really have to burn one, but actually really nice idea out of Condi. I mean, he burnt nothing and was probably going to go back and shop anyway because only sitting on a tracker's knife right now, so I like the pressure out of WE's jungler.
Yeah, Condi definitely having some pretty strong moments for himself here this year already.
Now see, 957 actually has the choice to choose a Lightning Saber in his skin.
He does.
And he's gone for a ruler instead. I just feel it's not an effective choice of weapon.
It's honestly the only ruler Fiora I have seen in a very long time. There was so much Project Fiora played at Worlds that I forgot it wasn't the default skin. I'm not joking.
Well, all the project skins just feel like default skins now.
Yeah.
Maybe 957 actually a hipster. He's that cool, he doesn't have the project skins.
Well, I can tell you that that ruler is going to do some serious damage once he gets his items going, but for now, sort of roaming between things here. And it is going to be Mystic sitting against Flandre once more. Last time this happened...
Nice roam up here actually out of everyone.
Yeah, and this is going to mean Flandre CS is going to be contested this time. That's a nice adaptation from Mortal Elite.
Yeah, it certainly was. Creeps got in the way this time around, so a little bit unfortunate there. As you see, Crystal actually looking to pressure a tier 2 now. One thing you have to say that's in the advantage of Snake is that Flandre has a little bit of wave clear. 957 has none.
No, and this was one of the things that a little bit different, even though the game is playing almost identical to the way it was in the first one. Tristana's turret pressure just can't be understated here. Flandre is maybe trouble getting dived here. Yeah, Zizzia's actually hugging bottom side here. He's got a barrel all the way back to defend.
So 957's actually done a really good job of getting experience. He's not getting much more farm, but he's at least level 5. Flandre only level 3 right now. And they're on their way to the base turret.
I mean, why stop? They are going to lose a top tier 2 here, so they'll continue to trade turrets, but as long as Flandre is safe, he'll eventually be able to secure farm one of these long lanes. And Crystal and Ella know they're not being paid any attention. Now they see her back. And have to be a bit more careful.
So Corki cheated off mid lane to get 957 this, which is a freeze. I wonder if they've afforded Flandre the same luxury, but the rate that his health bar is dropping, I'm going to say that he tried to freeze it, and now it's probably on his turret, because he got chunked out quite significantly. You can see 957, he did the same.
Well, this is going to get interesting here. Tank will get blue buff, so expect to see the mid-outer of both sides very healthy once again, but these are some very long lanes the top laners are playing with here. And again, they just want to farm. Nobody wants to fight anyone, it feels like.
So maybe the feel of another long game. This time around, you have to almost give it to the Gangplank.
Yeah.
Gangplank is just a power to be feared across all regions.
Yeah, now with the blue buff as well. So Blues traded off to their respective mid laners as Crystal's gone back. Double dagger, BF sword, pickaxe. That is an awful lot of efficient early game stats.
That's the Name special nearly.
That is almost a Name special. Thrift shopping. Crystal's bringing it back after last year. And now maybe Dragon here for Snake. That'd be the most obvious thing to take, but I wonder if Crystal's farm might get hurt a bit here. In fact, where the teams distribute their farm based on this current lane makeup is going to be super interesting. Seems like top laners right now are getting the priority, but Crystal's gone back to the bottom half of the map. He wants more farm in this bottom lane. In fact, he's just going to hang out on this pink ward. And I think look for a kill.
Yeah, maybe look for an assassination here on Mystic. There is an awful lot of creeps. Mystic will back away, actually pings directly on top of them.
Yep, seems to know they're in the area. How long will Crystal wait? I bet the health of that cannon will get too low and delicious. And there we are, Crystal. Yeah, sees 1 million low, he's like, I need this. Does take it. I'm going to start pushing his way back out here. Gangplank though has sort of met it in the middle, so Fiora's able to get some CS. As 957 meets the wave that Flandre had to unfreeze eventually. 957
actually looks like maybe going for a standard Hydra as his first item pickup. He's got double longsword, of course. That builds into the Vamp Scepter, leftover longsword that you need. There's maybe a fight in the bottom lane now. Shia coming down.
With the package, he's going to go all the way in. Valkyrie's in after it as well. Crystal knocks him back there with the Buster Shot, and he has all these summoners, but Ella with a good body lock there on some of those missiles. True Shot barrages in, but Crystal does survive it.
But that is a huge push, and they've just chunked out both members. This is potentially another turret that's going to fall because double AD. Ooh, Flandre has to burn the ulti.
Yeah, does use it, but it will keep the lane safe. That is by 957 time there. Flandre had to walk down to that bottom side just to defend off that push. And Zizio and Tank with the right idea do some damage to mid, but that was going to be a pretty hilarious combo to try and finish that off. And World Elite simply fall back to the dragon.
Yeah, so they can't get the turret as the objective. Instead, they secure some farm on their top lane, are able to pick up a dragon at the same time. They make sure all that farm doesn't go over onto Crystal, who ideally would have loved it. And Xie gets chunked out in mid lane.
Yep, ulti burnt there, but Xie will survive it. Tank looking for the all-in.
So with boots, you can actually outrun. Oh, you can't outrun that.
No.
But you can actually outrun rank 1 non-upgraded ultimate out of the Victor. It just like looked like Xie was chilling in it for the sake of chilling in it though.
Well, Tank moves forward, trying to get some more poke down, maybe cancel the back from Corki, but instead we'll just assert some control this wave. Continue wave clearing down here. Much better time here as opposed to the Cassidy matchup from last game. So I think Tank with the counter pick definitely helping him out a bit there. As Flandre hanging out behind his barrel and it's going to parlay as many minions as he can. The longer the wave stays here, the happier he'll be.
Yeah, certainly will. Doesn't want to go for that huge farm with the barrel. In fact, he actually breaks
Moves
the barrel,
it, yeah.
moves it back because the wave's coming.
Now that's going to force these Yara's pressure mid lane there from Waterley. Next time going to move into the tunnel, but once again, pretty much just have to go mid just to present the threat here. But everyone's always going to be pretty safe. As Flandre going to keep this here as long as he can.
Well, 957 has one job, and that is to make this wave hit the turret. Because if it stays here, Flandre auto wins the game for his team.
Flandre has one job: make sure that doesn't happen. So lots of minion battles here in this series so far, but Flandre looking to keep it where he wants right now. But even getting a bit feisty on the top lane. As Alan eats a cocoon there from Condi, you can see Snaker sticking to Flandre's side here, making sure he's the one with the advantage. And I feel like 957's lane is awfully long for him right now.
Yeah, it certainly is. He did get some good CS then, and it will push back eventually. But by then, Flandre will have a creep advantage. Gangplank, whenever he's even, he's ahead anyway. You can see right now he is perfectly even with 957, so we'll be very happy in that lane.
Yeah, with the Trinity Force now, does have a decent power spike, but Snake again grouping with some decent timing now. Chris though can't get the satchel down. Actually, it's 0. I think it was a misclick. One of the turret, I have to think. Ulti out there. Doesn't find anyone there. But wave will get cleared there by WE. And Snake's mid pressure will start to fall off here.
Harold did go across to WE, so they're able to pick something off the map. It's actually not. He goes back towards the Titanic, so just wanted the longswords for the extra dueling potential. Of course, you still need one of them for Jerome's Fist.
And Flandre again, slowly as possible, going to try and keep this wave here.
That will start to hard push now, so Flandre probably got one last wave that he can grab before 957 going to head up there. 957 now probably just wants to shove it as quickly back into Flandre as possible and try and group, get some early team fights in with Fiora and that very effective ultimate. But Flandre, who was level 4 to 957's level 7 at one point, has been able to even out pretty much the entirety of the discrepancy between the two.
Yep, you can see Phage done now. Almost up with the Zeal there for Flandre, so Trinity Force close, but not quite there yet for the Pirate. Crystal though, actually looking for, I have to think, Rapid Fire Cannon or Static Shiv. But we usually see RFC, and this is a very common Triss build as well. Get your early AD, but make sure you get your Zeal item first.
Yeah, it certainly is, and it depends on when you have to start putting points in your queue, depending on whether you can go Infinity Edge first. I honestly prefer the fact that you can just get Rapid Fire Cannon and put like 4 or 5 points in your queue regardless, and be able to get that nice burst damage. As you see Xie dodging out the way of a laser and expecting exactly what we saw in game 1, jockeying for position around the map and farm. We got a first blood a little bit earlier this time around, but game has delayed.
This is sort of the difference though, is Crystal's actually a little too aggressive. We'll jump out of the way, but this is the issue. Unlike the last game, Tristana is a real threat to turrets. So every single time Waterley leave Crystal alone, he's just hanging out mid lane now. This is his new home. Even though Mystic is getting farm on the bottom side, they're actually still staying even. And they're going to eventually take that turret if Waterley pretty much don't commit everyone to saving it.
Yeah, it certainly looks to be the case right now. Danger is, oh, here we go.
Yep, gank now, but ulti proc there for 957. Could be problems, but Flandre going to keep chasing. Dash away though from Fiora. No, they don't. Don't want it that badly. Flandre just wants the CS. And speaking of CS, Tank is still gatekeeping the crap out of this turret in mid. Look at Mystic. Just
He's letting it push back into him, so he's acknowledging the fact that, you know, Crystal is a good sieger, saying, sorry, Shia, you're on your own. I'm going to kind of replicate what Flandre is doing in this top lane, and even though he has great wave clear, just not letting this go anywhere.
Oh, ulti actually out from Tank. A bit aggressive, but...
Well, that's Tank's response. He's like, I'm going to chunk Shia out of the mid lane. You know, Crystal's back here now. On the next wave, we're going to try and push in.
He's got RFC now as well. So the siege is that much more effective now from the Trist. So can Snake actually start these sieges? Zero needs a bit of poke. We'll see what happens. And again, it's lots of empty lane farming in these two games. This one especially has super long lanes from all the tier 2s that died early.
Yeah, it certainly does. And you see that the response out of Mystic, straight away, he hard pushed that lane in the end. Actually going to hit the turret that he pushed it that hard, and Crystal wasn't ready for it. So now caught out of position a little bit on the other side of the rift. And honestly, this is just teams that think that they're better at team fighting than the other. They just want to scale up. If they could hit a button that said we're safely at 50 minutes, everything equal, I'm pretty sure both teams would go for it right now. Because no one really wants to take a risk.
No, certainly not here. As Gangplank does have the Trinity Force now. Crystal did attend to bottom wave, of course. Again, Snake's team composition definitely serving itself with the early lane movements in particular to a lot of turtling, but Wordlit were comfy to take it to late game last game. I'm sure they're just as comfy here again. As Dragon is the real issue here. That's actually a tangible advantage that Wordlit have, and it might not be much now just with Dragon 2 coming in, but certainly the next two, of course that big fifth one, do present real threats.
So Dragon 3 and 4 are actually really hard to take against Gangplank. Reason being, the brushes on the red side are really good to set up for kegs. Around corners, you can set them up over the ledge as well and get a lot of work done. Also, Dragon, it's great for Rumble ultis, and pretty much Gangplank is just a circle Rumble ulti.
Yep.
Arguably much better as well at the moment.
I feel like that's what we first panned Gangplank as. We started seeing a lot of play in the LPL. Like, this is kind of good Rumble.
Yeah, pretty much. As Condi said.
Yep, in trouble. Damage coming in, but GA going to try and make the difference. Exhaust is down. Crystal needs to kite well. Corky just has too much damage. Now Condi is going to look for the re-engage here as the ulti from Gangplank does get the first kill. Repelled down, but Ella going to try and make him sit here for it. Condi, though, is going to be alive, but ZZR comes in and Tank snaps him with the poke off the back. And now the TP down onto that tunnel. Flandre going to try and turn it for another kill. 957's found Ella, but Chaos Storm is down. Riposte is there. Flandre needs to get over there, but he can't quite make it in time. Now going to maybe look for another target, but Mystic is jumping straight onto the Victor, and Flandre just needs the barrel, tries to move in for it, needs to set it up, gets the crit there, takes out Mystic, and now going to look on a 957. Gangplank now with a double kill is going to look to chase Zero, and Snake get the better end of that trade.
And that is not what you want, giving Flandre 2 kills on Gangplank. He was already farming up a Storm. All of a sudden, he's 3-0-1. And that was good enough that they turned around the initial pick that Crystal looked like he had secured. But in the end, that Flandre ultimate on Gangplank completely ripped apart two members and just meant that the rest of the team fight wasn't going to go in their favor.
And pretty much exactly what we said in the pregame about Fiora versus GP. Fiora's very good in lots of different areas wherever you focus her, but GP is always there with the ulti.
And that just turned the gank on. Honestly, the two teleports were pretty late, but Flandre's was much more effective. Ulting a support as a Fiora, never a good idea. You find that they just run away from you a lot.
Especially Trundle.
And you're going to have to chase them to now get your proc. You'd probably much rather ult someone like ZZR or Flandre who are going to stand and fight you. Because then you actually get to get your vital procs off. So, you know, a little bit of a misstep there from 957. Good pick turns into a great team fight for Snake.
And yeah, much earlier bit of action there as well. Good block from Zero. Horrible. Wondering here to hold the wave, but that wave is done so. This Gangplank just does so much damage.
He's 160 CS. Once again, after a lane swap where these guys get stuck with no farm, the amount of... And don't get me wrong, Flandre is a good player, but this isn't him being a good player. This is just the amount of consideration Snake give to their top laner. They're just willing to gamble on the fact that, you know, even if they put him in a 0 CS lane, if they give him the priority sooner or later in the game, he'll be able to turn into these big farms.
Especially with a carry champ like Gangplank does make some sense as Crystal returns to mid lane now with an Infinity Edge. He's going to trade a bit more onto Shia, who does take poke from the Victor. Once again, Snake looking to take out this mid lane turret. Have to be a bit careful, but...
Ooh, and Flandre goes a good build.
Entry for second after that Triforce.
Yeah, so 40% cooldown reduction is just huge on Gangplank at this point. It really helps out your E, which you kind of need a lot of points into, with 957 actually getting aggressive with the ulti on Flandre. That was turned around fairly quickly.
Yep, and now actually fighting the mid lane here. Zella is going to get cocooned up. Damage is coming in. The Corki's able to do it. But the Victor ulti is nice. It's doing a good amount of damage, but Mystic shifts in and takes out the Rek'Sai. And Crystal and Tank, I don't know if they can hold this. TP no ulti. True Shot Barrage will miss.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, 957 and Flandre went at it. Like, they completely butted heads there. 957 ran the whole length of the lane. He fought Flandre under Flandre's turret and then booked it the whole of bottom lane to get out of there while that fight was going on.
Well, bottom lane may not have gone well for WE, but mid lane and the fight will certainly go well as they also claim the outer turret for their trouble. 4-3 now up in turrets for WE. And still got those two dragons with Dragon 3 up in a minute 40. Water lead holding on to a small gold lead here in this game.
Looks like Crystal will finally get his turret though in the mid lane. A ping assistance on it. Corki actually has the package, I believe, so might be able to get there in time.
Might be enough assistance. Usually when that ping happens from base, you're like, yeah, I'm not going to make it, but maybe he will.
Does he? Oh, he doesn't have it. I thought he had it.
Disappointing, but it does make it in time.
What does Earth with the package look like?
Hilarious. What any manatee with a jetpack looks like, Spawn. As Flandre and 957 are at it again, but
good on the wall.
Good little play. Barrel down again. ZZR here. Oh, he's going to ruin the 1v1. Nice riposte, not going to get knocked up. Vital proc, a little bit more speed. Minion Wave's there as well. And all of a sudden they need Ella to really join in, but Flandre takes out the Minion Wave just to buy space. And 957 able to get the kill. He's not going to die either. Lives on 12 health.
957 styles on a 3-0 Gangplank at that point in the game. Absolutely massive, and this is why we're saying really like Fiora in the matchup, because she's able to always take the 1v1. Flandre didn't have the ulti available, just came up at the end. 957 had his and was just able to get so much work done. I mean, he took the first fight and then took the jungle on the way in.
Yep, and almost got the double there. Just collects Flandre, but that'll have to do. As Snake try and help their top lane a bit now, struggling to defend this mid-tier 2.
Oh,
Crystal gets absolutely massively chunked by Xie. He's got 2.5 offensive items already completed. And there's the True Shot Barrage. Good look for the snipe. Does actually hit Crystal, but it doesn't kill him. That's going to buy Water Elite more time to siege. Or take Dragon, which is up in 3 seconds.
Dragon number 3. See, Flandre went back, got himself another pickaxe. That'll be an Infinity Edge coming up. Sooner or later, this Gangplank will be massive, but for now, 957 more than happy to go toe-to-toe with him. That's Dragon number 3. WE building up a pretty good lead on these Dragons. Gold's still ridiculously close. And any game that you get a Gangplank to about 35 minutes, you still feel like you can win. I mean, heck, LGD felt like they could win their game last week against WE, and they were down 20,000 gold.
Well, the Water Elite slogan is never give up your dreams. Perhaps Snake is simply never give up. Maybe that's Royals.
Yeah, that is definitely.
As you can see, Water Elite still in a pretty good spot. Going to pop back and get some of those items refreshed as Flandre continues to do his favorite thing, assault creep waves relentlessly whenever there is space.
And on this champion, it makes a heck of a lot of sense, man. He gets bonus gold for it.
And there you go. That's what a Manatee with a package looks like. Just as ridiculous as you expected.
Still has the best crit noise in the game. You know when you crit when you're playing that skin.
Well, Xie dishing out plenty of damage. So yeah, he's going to have to be careful. We saw Crystal almost die. Just do a quick Corki combo before. Oh, gives us a giggle on the way out of the river.
Did he give you a barrel roll, a manatee barrel roll?
Corki has the best dance, actually. Doesn't even barrel roll, he just bops up and down. Dances aside, though. Crystal in the top side is going to collect the empty farm. And he's, 2 items, which is good, but approaching 3 is always the sweet spot there for Triss. Feels like Snake are definitely waiting for a scaling comp. Maybe realized last game that he could go for his Flandre. He's going to use the ulti this time. Has the barrel set up and just takes him out.
Yeah, so that time he uses the ulti, uses the barrel, sits on his crate and goes back to base because that's a 1v1. Mystic will still get the blue buff. Maybe 957 thought Mystic was going to be in there in time. Maybe he thought he could just win the 1v1. Either way, both of his assumptions incorrect.
Yep,
through time.
Not correct that time. Flandre goes back, gets his health back, and straight back. They're getting all that bonus gold, plundering the minions in the bottom lane.
So Flandre is going for a QSS. This will outright win him the 1v1. It's such a weird item. You'd think, you know, just build armor against Fiandre.
Fiandre?
Fiora.
That'll be one when he picks it.
Because, you know, she's an AD, but the way her passive works just doesn't really help you that much. Instead, QSS drops the ultimate, and as of now, Fiandre just outright wins the duel.
Yep, QSS done. And time to go back to whatever lane he feels is safest. Snake again, balancing their two carries. It does feel like a very different style with Crystal back on the lineup. Makes sense that they give, you know, tank a wave clearing mage here, because they are literally just pivoting their carries around the sidelines after lane swap split pushes and letting tank gatekeeper the mid lane. It's been up once again for 27 minutes in this game.
Certainly has.
I think it fell at like 35 minutes in the last game. He really Gandalfed that tower. Although it's dead now, that's unfortunate. Because Waterley killed it already.
Yeah.
My mistake.
So now what's really interesting is it's more about where they put 957 than where they put Fiandre. A little bit of a fight there.
Yep, ulti up for tank. Has the allies, just going to keep him away.
Because, as I said, 957 now can't really fight Fiandre. So do you group up? Because what you're guaranteeing then is that a 40% cooldown reduction, nearly 3-item Fiandre is going to be there for a team fight. He's going to be level 16 as well in a second. Have that huge cannon barrage ulti, and that's going to hurt your team. But you can't beat him in a 1v1. So it's all about keeping pressure, looking for the play to make across the map, because you're realistically not going to be able to split push into him. You can't ignore him like you can some other champions like Maokai, like Rumble. You can't really fight him anymore because he's a ridiculously strong champion. So you have to look for that team fight play, get onto tank, try and get your ultimate down in a team fight, but this is going to be very hard to execute for WE.
Wow, Fiandre actually went Merc Scimitar. So I wanted to finish it, get a bit of extra AD. I know the IE is in the build somewhere, but not going to be third this time around. So that might delay some of the power. But Snake are certainly getting stronger here, and the gold once again still very close. But Waterley have done a good job around the Baron area, and now Snake have something to react to. In fact, drag it up in a minute 40, that'll be two different objectives Waterley can play around, and they just start the Baron. And Snake just aren't checking it.
They know. They saw the ward come out. DZR can see them moving around inside there. It's about whether they've got enough damage done.
Traffic cone. Fiandre going to join in for the fight.
Cancels it, so they get the teleport out of Fiandre. That's a big enough victory. See if you can pivot around the map.
Well, Fiandre again with the barrels. Shoot 957. Oh, very nice little barrel combo once again. Wow. Fiandre's really good at this champion. Surprise everyone. He's going to chase her down. He's probably going to give up the Baron attempt there for Waterley. As it feels like Waterley is starting to run out of answers to the big question is, what do you do about Fiandre's gangplank?
Still definitely have the dragon as an objective, you know, 50 seconds away. Maybe you send 957 top now, see if you can pressure that side of the map. He still has a teleport, Fiandre does not, so Fiandre is going to have to hang around bottom side. Everyone else, as long as they have good vision, Mystic and Condi can just kind of duo the Baron. Mystic can probably even do it himself at this stage of the game with fairly good effect, and that will be number 4, so there's always the condition of being able to force Snake there. This game's dead even at 30 minutes.
Yeah, and you can see, I think Fiandre knows this, and doesn't quite have all the items he might want, but feels strong enough to start grouping with his team and taking his mid lane and creep waves. As we do have 957, we can now afford to split push with his TP. Fiandre feels a bit more forced to group now, and I think they are going to try and fight for this dragon. They sort of have to.
Yeah, but now you just give it up. If you're WE, what's a 4th dragon? You can take a top lane. Depends how quickly they can get it done here, but if they can just continue to poke, continue to put in work, you're never really going to get on top of a blue Ezreal because they don't have hard engage tool.
Yeah, race on. Dragon does go over to Snake. They will deny the 4th, but have to go back very quickly for 957. Ulti used actually to clear the way, but
so now go Baron. Like, that is a call right now. Just rush Baron. WE across map, looking to get there. They've got rid of both globals. This is their best chance to get it done. Maybe not going to be there in time.
And you can see Snake on the same wavelength there. Are going to run over as Waterley might even just set a trap here. They do still have the pink vision. Blue Trinket does get taken out. As looks like Waterley still want to keep their mid lane turret up. But Snake, even with the Triss, have not been able to take yet.
Xie is getting chunked by these barrels, by the way. That's the second one he's actually walked into. His build unfortunately doesn't have the lifesteal that Mystics does. And you can see now this is where it really becomes scary. They gave up the Dragon momentum, kind of that tempo increase that they were enforcing on the game. Tank just is waiting for it every time.
Yeah. Not play there. He's going to take the grunt for himself as well. Victor approaching level 15. Someone does have to challenge Fiora, but with Cheapy heading back, I imagine that's Flandre once again. And there's a BF still to Infinity Edge now on the way. And we have a real timer to look at here as far as Snake strength goes. Even BT on the way for Crystal, almost done in fact. The strength that they'll have, pretty ridiculous once 4 items for both Gangplank and Trist will be available. And that's not too far away for them. 957 has to play safe here. World Elite still hugging this bottom side.
Yeah, you still feel if Flandre doesn't hit a great barrel, there is a chance in a team fight just because of Blue Ezreal. See Shie challenging with a package. They want to go on Flandre.
Yeah, they kind of have to do something now, but Flandre hanging back, setting up barrels. And his team's here to support him as well. I think they might even have the top wave pushing, so not too much time here for World Elite, but...
And this is like a semi-ultimate out of... Oh, Condi, you just took a huge barrel. Semi-ultimate out of Mystic, to be honest. You know, that package, you can just go in over the top.
Yeah, and find Tank. Oh my god, the damage is massive, but Tank is going to turn it around. Gia a little low, but stun lands in. Tank did hit him.
Just lives.
But it doesn't kill him. GP ulti burnt though. Snake used a lot of cooldowns, making sure everybody stays safe.
So another reset, and this game is on a nice edge. You can see that ZZR wants to chase Shie out. Will manage to do so. Flandre keeping 2 people at bay. Crystal finally going to get his turret. I've said that 3 times. Make it true.
And it is going to be true this time. Spawn, the Prophet, does get it correctly.
Say it enough times. It's bad to go down.
Exactly.
It's a tier 1 mid lane turret.
Well, Mystic going to take the Scuttle Crab for his trouble instead. And once again, we're in this almost late game situation, and we're not there yet. But the pace of the game has been such that it feels like we're going to get there.
Yeah, it certainly does. I mean, like, we have 80 carries approaching 4 items. We have Flandre taking half of 957's health.
Flandre's so creative.
It's all about where you chuck your barrels.
Barrel placement exceptional. I want to see Flandre play Heimerdinger now. That's what I really want. Is Tank actually taking empty wave duties at this point? Or BT done for Crystal as well. I mean, at this point, I might just stop listing off the items, because whenever we do see a fight, we're pretty much going to have all of them here. Only really waiting on the IE from Flandre is, I think, the big pickup. And we'll see if Snake are finally big enough to want to force a fight here. Baron is probably the next objective with Dragon down for a few more minutes, but not there yet, Spawn. Still, again, a very patient, slow game from both these teams.
Yeah, the big CS discrepancy, honestly, is once again that top lane. That's 80 CS in Flandre's advantage. Very close to that IA, as we keep mentioning. Bloodthirster is being picked up by 957. I like the approach. His approach is literally, I'm just going to go lifesteal, and if you don't one-shot me, I will win the duel eventually. I don't care about your QSS. Flandre's approach is, I'm going to one-shot you.
Yep. Just sort of the Gangplank special. As you can see, still top laners meeting each other in bottom lane. Still trying to fight over some of that CS. And Flandre just playing safe. Doesn't want to eat any unnecessary jungle pressure. Not too much vision on that side of the jungle there for Snake. He's going to wait for another dragon here. Snake will have to defend this, but if Flandre has IE and he's got it right now, Snake.
Pretty easy defense, you think. No defensive items. That's pretty big right now. I mean, Flandre's build, as far as build goes, is very expensive. And I was going to say Sterix into Spirit Visage would probably be the logical choice for 957. He's got a cloth armor, so not looking for that.
No, he's going for the split push 1v1 build, but we've seen already Flandre may have the edge in that particular area.
Spoiler alert, I lost with this build like 5 minutes before broadcast. It does not work, 957.
Well, you can see Flandre not quite able to get the poke that time, but those barrels are going to do pretty insane damage. And now Dragon, not there yet. Crystal actually not quite the last whisper, but as powered up as he can be for it's going to be a fight for this 5th overall Dragon of the game. World Elite with 3, Snake with 1. Teleports up for both top laners. This is, again, it's been a very slow game, but this is definitely the next moment of tension as Flandre and 957 are fighting again.
957 just wants to stop it
Oh,
from teleporting.
Flandre is winning. He does get the win.
So he went a little bit too early. In theory, that's the right move. Just fight Flandre, make sure he can't get back. You know, they even fired an ulti at him to stop it, because like that is the idea. Just don't let him get back there, but in the end, it's not going to make a difference.
Yep.
I wonder if that's a GA out of 957.
Maybe. It's certainly a chain vest, so we'll see where he goes with it. But
Most likely a dead man play, but it could be a GA.
Snake are going to get themselves Dragon number 2.
Because it's really satisfying. You die, but you have your ulti down, and you come back to life with lots of health.
The GA?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sweet.
No, because of the Fiora.
Yeah, no, I get
well.
it.
Yeah.
I got you.
Got me?
Yeah,
Got me?
look. We're on
Picking
the
up
same
what I'm
page
putting
there.
down?
Absolutely. And now Snake onto the Baron. Baron damage is going to be pretty redonk at this particular point. Just got to make sure it doesn't get stolen this time. Mystic. Ulti. Looking for the steal. Oh, he doesn't get it. DZ aren't able to secure it this time. And Condi's in trouble as he's being chased down. Rek'Sai going to look for the knockup. Doesn't quite get it. Flushes forward just for the autos. That's actually a kill for Rek'Sai.
Yeah. So ZZR sick of Condi. He was like, I'm taking you out, buddy. Puts a target on him, takes him out, and that's going to be a Baron for Snake. And you know the power of Gangplank. We might be going to game 3 pastry time.
This is what we saw in last game for Snake, where they went for the Baron. They had the situation to try and win. They didn't get the Baron and eventually lost the late game fight. This is a huge step in momentum for Snake that they've been building up for literally 35 minutes.
And I feel like...
So their time is now.
Yeah, I feel like there is a break in like train of thought here, because you know Snake is, wow, going to want to take you late. And you give them arguably the hardest scaling champion in the game in Gangplank. I'm not sure if I'm following the wavelength of Snake.
Well, Crystal also pretty strong at this point as well. Definitely has Last Whisper and a bit of change at this point. Some powered recalls will be popped. They've broken the mid. They're just going to go spend some money. They got off the Baron and shove straight down that wave. And honestly, look for a fight and probably to end the game. Last Whisper now done for Crystal, so no change unfortunately. Oh, either way, there we go. Well, Dominic's regard's done. And Border Lead have a whole lot to be concerned about at this point. Once again, gold lead still there for Snake. Very similar position to game 1. They couldn't close it out in that first one. Can they close it out here? I have to think with the champions they've got, they can.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what a winning team fight for WE looks like anymore. You know, Crystal outranges the 280, carries a very little chance of him getting blown up. Maybe they get onto Tank, you know, blow him up with a Fiora ulti, something like that, and see if they can reset a team fight. Right now, Flandre just has such a presence. All 3 upgrades. Deadman played procs on his Q. It's gonna, don't know why it's a melee attack. It just is.
Well, Phil blew it up for the plank because he's just going to race down mid. Share with the package once more. Flandre setting up those barrels.
Just do it, Shia. Get in there.
He would die so quickly.
He'll get one shot. Gangplank would queue it.
Just explode.
They're actually now going for 957.
Well, he's being pretty annoying. They do have to stop the split push potential, given that they are trying to group mid. 957 stayed. I guess he didn't have time to run away.
No, he certainly did.
They can see you. Now going to TP away. Not enough though, but the damage is there, but won't cancel the tally. And I like it remotely. Just charge up mid lane.
Yeah.
Use the package for distance.
And creep clear or something, but they've got double AD comp. They're going to be able to get this for free. Now the collapse is coming out of a Trundle. Can't see really who else is with him. It is Tank.
Yep, Tank and Ella going to try and cut them off at the pass. She already took a massive amount of damage, and Crystal's just going to take one out. Mystic dead as Flandre cues him in the head, and Crystal's going jumping, looks for Zero next, does go over the wall. Condi actually the target he wants, just in range there with the Tristana passive. And Snake just going to try and chase World Lead down. Condi's out of here, and Snake get 2 good kills.
Yeah, and maybe this time Shia and Crystal not, Shia and Mystic not on the same wavelength. They didn't turn around at the same time to try and blow someone up. You can see that that will be the base opened up. Creep Wave is soon to follow. Not really all that much wave clear out of the WE lineup. We'll see whether they can get it done.
Condi hits the barrel. Crystal assaulting these turrets as 957 does one. He's going to dive in onto Flandre, but the rest of the team's there this time. It's actually Tank that he wants, but CC is good there. 957 is going to look for it, but he will die. His GA that he did get popped. But the Fiora ulti, it's a distant dream at this point. Crystal able to take him out. Condi gonna repel and try and get out of it, but Crystal just hits the turret instead. Zero's going to get zoned up here, and Snake, they take it late, but they win the fight this time. We're going to game 3.
And I feel like another team has underestimated the potential of a Fiora in a team fight. You saw how much work he just got done to tank in like 4 people. Maybe not pulling the trigger early enough, but what I do know is that Gangplank is still a monster if you don't push him off farm. Very smart itemization out of Flandre. Just meant that the 3rd item, Merc Scimitar, he won the 1v1 duels. He had the life steal, had the cooldown reduction and crit out of the Trinity Force and the Essence Reaver, and he just got it done.
If there's one team that knows how to take a carry and guarantee them farm, or even 2 carries in this case, it is absolutely Snake. With Crystal back in the lineup, he was getting fed plenty of farm as well, but Flandre going back to the carries we know he loves and making them work.
And once again, going to question the WE draft as we take a look at some highlights here. Don't ult the supports, they just run away from you. You know that Snake want to go to 40 minutes at the moment. Why give them Gangplank? There are just so many other champions that you can leave open. Like, just leave the Alistair open. He's not as devastating at 40 minutes as Gangplank.
And you can see again, Flandre, this is one of the, I think, more creative 1v1s. This is actually 957 though that got this one, despite all the help. Yeah,
and you can see that there is a part in this duel that 957 honestly wins very easily. Just dancing around, has the life, steals easier, not enough damage. 957 just able to get dangerous game proc there, and this was the one that he lost.
Look at this kiting from Flandre. Just all around the ulti, cleanses off it right at the very end. Really nice play there from Flandre. Again, showing off mechanics, his ability to get farm, his knowledge of the game. We've talked about how good this player is pretty much all last year. Expecting big things from him this year. That was definitely more of a standout game.
Yeah, it certainly was. I'm also going to question 957 dashing back into the middle of a Gangplank ultimate and 2 barrels. You know, that it's not how I would have played the duel, but that was an interesting decision. But pretty much it didn't matter. Flandre at that stage, he had 6 items. Gangplank with 6 items is a terror. 3 ultimate upgrades. He's going to be able to win the team fights for you. That came down to what was a gamble in pick ban phase. They thought they were going to be able to get the split push going earlier. Just didn't work out. Snake take game 2.
They certainly did, and that means we are going to force it all the way to 3 for our last best of 3 of the evening. We only got 1 game left. Don't go too far away. It's coming right up.